Hello and welcome to this course Computer Communication Network. As if you remember, while discussing OSI model, that is 7-layer protocol, we'll already discuss some part of data link layer. So in that OSI model we have 7 layers starting from application layer, and at the bottom there is a physical layer. So just above physical layer we have a data link layer. So in this data link layer we have to discuss about how this data link layer is used for transferring of data within one computer to another one computer. Again, we will discuss different protocols. These protocols which are used in data link layer. Also, we will concentrate on the data types which is used in your data link layer. So in data link layer, here we use frame by frame next hop delivery to be data transfer. So frame means a block of data exchanged at data link layer. We will discuss in detail about this framing structure after this particular part. So now the main task of data link layer is that transfers data from the network layer of one machine to the network layer of another machine. This is part of services it gives to the upper layer. If you remember, above the data link layer we have the network layer. So the data link layer gives a service to the network layer, and this service is the transfer of data from one network layer to the other network layer, and this is in turn use the physical layer. So as we know, in physical layer there is a bit stream is available in physical layer, and that bit stream is converted into group of bits that is called as a frame, and it is delivered to the network layer. So this figure shows that here network layer for one machine is present. The data coming from network layer from one machine is given to the data link layer, and it is provided to physical layer. Similar way, for another one machine, data taken from physical layer in terms of bits converted into frames, and these frames are given to the network layer. So this is the major task of data link layer. So here link between two computers may be two types, maybe point to point, or maybe sometime it is a broadcast. So broadcast means many nodes connected to same communication channels. So we can take the example as a wireless, where we are just sending the data and all other receivers are taking that data or receive that data. So here different protocols are also used. So define format of frames to be exchanged over the link, that we know this is the definition of protocol. So in response of this, these protocols are used by that nodes. Examples: Ethernet protocol we use, token ring protocol we use, Wi-Fi protocols are there, and again point-to-point protocols are also there. So these protocols we can use for data link layer. So now we'll see what services will be provided by this data link layer to the upper layer. So first service is logical link control. Logical link control means interface between network sublayer and MAC sublayer. So it will provide services like multiplexing the data, error detection, error recovery. This error recovery is optional. Flow control, this also optional services will be provided to the network layer. And there another one link is present there, media access control. So controls access to physical media when there is a broadcast channel is used. So it means one channel is shared by different nodes. At that time we need to use this media access control. So who will access that particular media, that can be decided by one protocol which is called as a access control protocol. Framing, this is the data type which is used in data link layer. So as we know, in physical layer data type is bits. So there are stream of bits is available. So convert this stream of bits into manageable bit stream, we use framing. So in this framing we can use some sentinels, or you can use something differentiation between two different frames, and that frames are transferred from data link layer to the network layer. So as we see here, two layers are there: LLC, logical link control, and MAC, medium access control. So now let's see what is framing. So framing, it needs to pack bits into frames so that each frame is distinguishable from another. So it means, as we know, in physical layer there is a bit streams are present, and these bit streams are not controllable. So we need to convert these bit streams into manageable groups. That's why this manageable groups is called as a framing. Framing in data link layer separates a message maybe from one source to destination, and secondly it is separated from other messages to other destination by just adding a sender address and destination address. So here why framing is used? Framing is used for separating your message from source to destination, and secondly it is the separation from other messages from other destinations. So this is general use of framing. So let's see how framing is used. What is meant by framing? Block of data, term frame in link layer, exchange between nodes. So the block of data we used to exchange between two different nodes, that is called as a framing. So how we determine which set of bits constitutes a frame? So as there is a bit streams are available, so I will distinguish between two different frames. There are different approaches are used to convert this bit stream into manageable bit frames. So we'll see different approaches here. First, a possible approach is there: keep link idle between two frames. Suppose we send one frame and after that we just make that link idle, then we can say that this is a separation between two different frames. But it is not used. Why? Because why should we make that particular medium idle? So it will reduce your efficiency. Secondly, and if we use this particular idle case, then the data link layer should always depend upon physical layer, because physical layer they use direct link, and in that case the physical layer may make that link idle. So some encoding may use idle time to encode data unipollars. Sometime it may happen that link or that ideal time may be used for something encoding your data. Secondly, some physical layer don't keep link idle to maintain synchronization. So for synchronization purpose, sometimes it is not possible to maintain your physical layer idle. That's why this particular approach is not used. So it means we are just making idle link between two frames. So what is second approach? So second approach is your sentinel approach. So what is sentinel approach means? Use character or bit sequence to indicate start and end of frames. So we use something at the starting of the frame and something at the end of the frame. So it will distinguish that frame is started and frame ends at this particular position. So in this sentinel approach, another one case is there, byte count. Byte count also one of the method to convert your bit stream into framing. So used to determine end of frame, sentinel still used at the beginning of frame. So sometime byte count is also used, and in byte count sometime first start of frame character is also used for distinguishing different frames. So another one approach is there, byte oriented protocols. So byte oriented protocol means view frame as a collection of bytes, not bits. Previously we are converting that bit stream into some group of bits, but now whatever the frame, we view this frame as a collection of byte. Special bytes as a sentinel. So we can use here the separate or special byte count or byte as a sentinel. So we just take the example for this one. Examples are BiSync, binary synchronous communication, developed by IBM. It is one of the example of this byte oriented protocol, and DDCMP, that is digital data communication meshes protocol, is also one of the example of this byte oriented protocols. And third one is your PPP, that is point to point protocol. These three are the example of byte oriented protocols. So let's see the example for this one. This is something, one frame we can observe here. Here starting synchronization bits are added there. STX refers that start of the frame. Then block of data is present, that is something bit stream or group of bits are present there. ETX shows that the frame is end, and after that ETX there is one block check count, BCC is added. It may be 1 byte LRC or maybe 2 byte CRC for your error checking is added. So this complete one frame we can form. So starting of your frame and ending of your frame shows that here frame is started and here frame is end. So this is something a frame format. So frame format, if we consider, here is always one flag is present which indicates your frame is started. Addresses are used there, sending address and receiver's address. One bit is reserved for your control, one bit is reserved for which type of protocol we use there. This payload means the data which is present, which may be variable depend upon the data size. And finally there is a FCS, and last one flags are used. So flag indicate that there is a end of that particular frame. So let's see what is bit oriented protocols. So in bit oriented protocol, view frame as a collection of bits, not bytes. So bits could be from ASCII characters, we can use pixels values of an image, or we can use a binary files also. So examples for these bit oriented protocols are HDLC. HDLC is your high level data link control protocol, where we can use sequence. See here there is a bit sequence is used starting 0 and there is a 5 times 1 and again 1 0. So this bit sequence is also used as a sentinel. So HDLC frame format, if we observe there is a 16 bit header format is used, and before that 8 bit at the starting as well as 8 bit at the ending, beginning sequence as well as ending sequence are used, which shows the frame start and frame end. So 16 bit header format is used, where we can add sender's address, receiver's address, and here the body of your frame, that is payload, is present, and 16 bit CRC code is also added there for error checking and control. But again there is another one problem for this particular bit oriented protocol, or we can use sequence. So what if sentinel characters, that is your STX or ETX, appears in body, suppose in payload? So instead of using STX and ETX, after STX and ETX, if STX or ETX present itself in data, then what will happen? That frame is terminated prematurely. So as a ETX is present, frame is end, but actually frame is not end at that particular position. That ETX is present, that is a part of your payload, but unfortunately if ETX is present there, your frame ends. So what is solution for this? So byte or character stuffing we can use there. So used in bit oriented protocol, sentinel characters escaped by DLE, data link escape character, we use before that particular ETX. So DLE if present again in your payload, then we can escape that DLE using again DLE characters. So send DLE ETX instead of your ETX in body. So it means that if DLE is present before ETX, that ETX is ignored. Another one approach is there, bit stuffing. So bit stuffing means we can use one flag, that is bit sequence in body of message. So sender insert 0 after 5 consecutive ones there. So this is also called as a bit stuffing. Receiver removes the zeros that follows 5 ones. This is also one of the method of converting your bit frames. So let's summarize here. Data link layer protocols we used for data link layer, that is your HDLC protocol, point to point protocols. Framing, how to detect beginning and end of the frame, we'll discuss already. Byte and bit oriented approach we use. Byte and bit stuffing, these two are the methods for converting your bit stream into frames. Thank you.